Malison: The Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere. Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause. Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close. I stream development work of Malison Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch. I also have new development update streams on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. There is also a Discord you can join for the game. Check below. Malison: The Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere. Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin, and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it is up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause. Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close. I stream development work of Malison Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch. I also have new development update streams on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. There is also a Discord you can join for the game. Check below. Alright, folks. Let's get going. So, today I'm going to be working on the Waking World for the Community Jam. But before that, someone had found an issue with the 3D sound, so let's do some quick tests. Let's do some quick tests about it. And see what's going on. I forget where I actually put the access point to that. So you're saying that leaving and re-entering this area removed all of the sounds? Yeah? So like adding a new teleport in this place? Okay. So I'll put a warp back. Okay. It tastes like freedom. All right. It tastes like I am a fish. Okay. Yeah. And then if I leave again and come back, yeah, it really only happens once. Huh. I don't think I've ever noticed that. I don't think I've ever noticed that problem in Look Outside with 3D sounds. These are BGS source 2. These are BGS source 2. If I remove these. Maybe it doesn't like that, No, this was set as dynamic. Maybe it has a problem with the dynamic ones. Well, let's try this again. Feta cheese is very good. It's for when the source of sound is moving. Okay. Now if I use this. Yeah, no, it doesn't come back. That's so weird. That is so weird. Yeah, I've never noticed this problem in Look Outside, and this is the same plugin that I use in the same way. What could it be? That is weird. If I remove this, usually that causes a crash if I return, I think. Or if I load the game. That's why you need to put that usually. But I don't know. So initially when you come in, and then if I come back, no, that doesn't do anything. Huh.
I'm a fish.
Why does it do that? How about if I make an auto run that erases event? Would that help? I don't think it would.
I'm a fish.
No? Same thing.
I'm a fish.
Huh. What if it's like a parameter of the whole thing? Developer mode. Okay, UI sound effects. Map parent autoplay? Okay, that's not that. Huh. Wow, I have no idea what the problem is. Would it be maybe something from... Maybe, what if maybe multi-tweaks? I'm gonna turn off multi-tweaks. I'll just try turning off multi-tweaks and see if that fixes it, because maybe something in multi-tweaks is like intercepting this. This is gonna make things look weird. Yeah, it removes like the scaling, but let's just see. I wonder if it's something about different plugins intercepting one another. Because multi-tweaks is a plugin that does a bunch of things. So it could maybe get in the way of that. Yep, that's it. That's it. Hole in one. Hole in one, folks. That's how you do it. Yep, multi-tweaks does something in there that messes with the audio. What could it be in all of these things? There's some audio stuff. Stop autofocus audio. Okay, maybe that. Let's... Cache of used audio. Okay, let's bring back multi-tweaks and then let's turn off individual things to see which is the culprit. Yeah, maybe yeah, you're right. Before doing this, you're absolutely right. I should just try switching up the load order first. That's absolutely the right call. Let's move Mush Audio Engine just after multi-tweaks. See if that helps. That might break something else, but we'll see.
Okay, so far so good. Now we return. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Loading it after doesn't do it. Okay, let's try something else. Let's set this to false. Let's set all of these to false, actually. Preemptive boot map cache. I bet that's the one. But let's just try with all of them at false just to see if one of them does the trick. And if so, then we can check which of them exactly. So yeah, let's try all of them. I'm still doing the Cadena Zero stuff, yeah. It's actually been a little stressful. But I'm very close to the end of it. Okay, so one of these fixes it. Now I can go in and remove them one by one. My guess is that that bottom one is the one. Preemptive event cache, actually. Maybe it's preemptive event cache. That's the one here. Let's turn this one off. Yeah, let's turn this one off in case that... Yeah, that's probably the one. Let's see. Nope, that's not the one. Okay, let's try another one. We'll find it. So it's not preemptive event cache. So let's try preemptive boot map cache. Okay, let's see if that fixes it. Let's see. No, not that one either. I'm a fish. Okay. So let's try cache of used audios then. Oh, that's the global one here. Maybe out of focus audio. Let's remove this one. I don't think did I test this one already? I might have forgotten that I tested this one already. Let's try it anyway. Okay. No, not that. Well, it's looking like I just need to remove all of these at once then. Or like it looks like I need to just disable the cache of used audios entirely. That's kind of unfortunate. But it seems like this is the problem. Yeah, that's too bad. It seems like a good idea to not have to reload music that's played, but whatever. If it's causing a problem, it's causing a problem. Yep. Alright, that fixes it then. So yeah, if you want to fix it for your... I mean, you don't really need to fix it, but if you want to fix it on your side, move Mush Audio Engine to be below multi-tweaks and set... no, not this. in multi-tweaks, set cache of used audios to false, and that should fix it. But you don't actually need to fix it on your side. As long as it's fixed in the final version, it's going to work. And that's how that's fixed. Yeah, it's just two plugins getting in each other's way. It happens. Okay. All right, folks. Anyone else has an issue with their map, with their slot, their community jam stuff? So we can do some live fixing, and otherwise, I'm gonna start working on all the on the apartment, on the interactions in the apartment here. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna set up something very, very similar to how things work in Look Outside. It's gonna be something very similar to this. You're gonna have some basic stats, and there's gonna be some actions you can take in the apartment, and depending on your actions, it's going to affect your stats, and then those stats in turn are going to affect some things about the dream. It's not going to be like a huge thing, but it's going to, just encourage you to take care of yourself between your dreams. And it's going to sort of maintain this feeling that you're going into these separate dreams. It's going to kind of give a little bit of a rhythm. And also maybe every time you go back, there is this feeling that like the outside world is becoming more and more nonsense. But it's probably going to be like the vision of what's actually happening outside is going to be much more vague than it is in Look Outside. It's probably going to be much more, it should be a lot less specific. It shouldn't be too clear what's happening. Like, I mean, everyone who plays this will have played Look Outside, but if you imagine someone who hasn't played Look Outside and plays this, they wouldn't like end the game knowing exactly what's happening outside at all. To them, it's like just some nebulous thing is happening. That seems very spooky. And then playing Look Outside would actually answer their questions, right? That's how I'm kind of thinking about this, because yeah, like Jo is just much more sequestered. She's much more, she has way less ways to actually connect with, she's completely stuck inside here. So let's set up some basic variables for her. Yeah. So let's have something that runs every hour. So hour passing. Every hour that's not spent sleeping. So when you're sleeping, maybe this here. Maybe this would just work differently if that hour is spent sleeping or not. Like, is dreaming? Yeah, maybe is dreaming is going to be checked. So if you're dreaming, things are like you're just going to be recovering stamina or recovering, Yeah, it's going to be stuff like that, I think. I'm going to have some basic stats here. Yeah, morale, hunger, hygiene, stress, sanity. Oh, thank you, Credobes. Appreciate that. Oh, these are a little incomplete. There we go. And maybe sleep. Sleep level. So that's actually important, even though the game is mostly going to be about sleeping. Like, if you, the first time you play, for a first time player who doesn't know somehow what this game is about, you know, like, that mechanic here is actually going to help sort of push them to sleep, right? So yeah, I think for every hour you spent sleeping, you're going to recover 10 points of sleep, sure. And also, you're going to lose hunger. Let's say like 5 hunger, 5 hygiene. Maybe instead of stress, this should be calm, since high is good. Actually, maybe how calm the dreams make you should depend on what happened in a dream. Yeah. Maybe that should depend on exactly the thing you did. Also, maybe same for sanity. I don't know. I'm not even sure what sanity is going to be. That might not even be used at all. I'm just kind of improvising mechanics here. And here, whenever you're not dreaming, when an hour passes, you're going to lose 5 sleep, 5 hunger, 5 hygiene. Yeah, there you go. I'm probably going to set all of these at the beginning here. I'm going to set sleep to 50. It's going to be out of 100. So you're going to start with sort of like all of your meters about halfway. There's morale. There's sanity. And there's calm. Again, these might just change to something else. There you go. So all the stats are set to the middle. I'll put some music on. Let's see. How about congratulations? Yeah? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, this could be a bit more, since you're completely stuck inside, maybe this could be, maybe there could be a little bit more of those mechanics there. Yeah, there could be. If we get some ideas for it. Or it could be, since you're going to be spending a lot of your time dreaming, it could be a thing where they don't actually need to be random. They might just happen at very specific times. In which case, it would feel random because people would sleep at different times and for different amounts. And so maybe like on the 8th hour of the first day, the same thing always happens. That kind of thing. I'm thinking of that as a possibility. But, you know, maybe just randomizing it would be better too. Okay, here gonna have day number, current hour, yeah, current day, current minute. There we go. And then if current hour is above or equal to 24, then you reduce the hour by 24 and you add 1 to the day. What happened to Sybil? I think you need to play the game more, maybe. Unless you mean a very specific question there. I think you might need to play the game more. Or do you mean like just like, you know, after the game? After like the promise ending? Like looking farther into the future? I mean, that's up to you. That's up to you. Time passing. Minutes passed. And that's bigger than 0. Then minutes passed. Current minute. And you add minutes passed to current minutes. And then if then you do a loop. And in this loop, if current minute is above or equal to 60, then you do do current minute minus 60. Then you run hour passing. This is how time works, folks. Look Outside Dating Sim. No. I have not played that. I'm sorry. I am afraid. I am afraid. Minutes passed. Set to 0. And then here, that would be break loop. There you go. So there you go. That would be... That would be how this works. Okay, okay. Like this, yeah. Like that should work. And after time has passed, I'm going to check if... yeah, this is going to be the things that warn you that you've crossed certain thresholds. So, for instance, I do need to set these as well here. So morale level is going to be at 1. Hunger level at 1. Hygiene level at 1. Calm level at 1. This is basically stuff to keep track of whether or not you should get a warning about your, this stat crossing a certain threshold. So here, if your morale is less than 20, that's going to be 1 warning. If it's less than 10, it's going to be another warning. Actually, less than 10 is going to be first. Less than 20 is another. And then more than 80 is going to be another. And then else, if it's between all of those, actually more like above 40. No, above 80 and then above 40, yeah. Above 80 and above 40. There you go. So this is critical check. Morale. Critical. So I think morale is going to be the general one. It's going to be like the global one. I think that would work for that. Morale low. Morale high. And morale normal. Here, then we do this for hunger. Then we'll do it for hygiene. I'm thinking that the fact you're not going to have anything to interact with to start is probably a good thing. But there should still be things... Yeah, I need to think about that. I need to think about ways for you to sort of interact with the waking world before you start dreaming, so that there's at least a little bit of an illusion that this might not be a game about dreams. I don't know. What should be the things you can interact with when you don't have anything yet, you know? Maybe you can interact with a few things that are like the bad... That are like the bad or like basic versions of the better things you find later, you know? Yeah, maybe you should be able to like... Yeah, like for your hunger, maybe you don't really have like a proper fridge, but maybe you still have something. It's going to be bigger than 0. And then it's set to 0. Yeah, we'll have better text for that later. It'll just be a little generic to start. Morale is very high. Your morale is getting better. There you go. So that's for morale. Morale is going to be the overall stat. General state. hunger. This is going to be eat to recover, obviously. Hygiene. Shower and brush teeth to recover. I could also have a thing where you have to clean the house. That could work as well. That's something I initially wanted in Look Outside, but I removed it because the game kind of moved away from those complications. Calm would just be spend time. Yeah, leisure time. To recover. Also, peaceful dreams. So yeah, maybe when you come back from a dream, the calm could maybe go up or down depending on the dream balance. So if you've done things that were scary, right? So basically your dream is, yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, depending on like how spooky the dream got. Maybe that's going to affect calm differently. Yeah, I kind of like that. That could be a bit of a mess, but that's fine. Okay. And here, rest, sleep to recover. So that's going to be, that literally forces you to interact with the game. Well, I don't know if it really forces you, but something like that. And I'm not sure, I mean, I entered one about sanity, and that could be something that just goes down over time, right? That could be the part that's sort of like the everyday that just goes down. And maybe it goes down at a different pace depending on certain things. And maybe some things you can collect sort of recover it. So yeah, sanity would be sort of an overarching thing. Like collect dream things to recover. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that could kind of show you how well you're doing. How, like, whether you're on pace to get, the good ending or not. That would work. Yeah, that could be like it uses the same sort of stats as the rest, but it has a very specific purpose. That kind of works. Okay. So let's just set all of these properly here. So morale is set there. Let's set the proper one for hunger. That's hunger, actually. Hunger. Hunger. Hunger critical. starving. You are hungry. You feel stuffed. You're no longer hungry. All right. And I think morale should probably be at the end if it's a general state thing. Yeah, I should probably move that at the end. So it gives you the morale one at the end. I think that makes sense. Hygiene. The friend mechanic is just a character that follows you around. They're like a pet. At their core, they don't need to do anything. They literally just follow you around. You just add a little guy that once you interact with them, they just start following you around. And then next time you go to the Nexus, they're going to be waiting there with all the others. That's it. That's it. We can figure out mechanics for them. If we want, we could make it that, oh, having this guy in your party is going to open up, having this guy following you could open up something somewhere, if we like, but that's secondary. It's just meant to be a collectible. We could figure out the exact math we want for this sanity thing. So that if we pass the time and we don't find anything, how many days it takes for sanity to reach 0. And maybe sanity reaching 0 is what triggers the ending right away. Maybe it doesn't even keep going to 15 days or anything. I'll probably be drawing the portraits, but if you guys want to, you can make a portrait too. But you should probably wait until for me to... Maybe we should wait a bit for people to have, made most of the friends designs, and then I'll probably make a portrait. Just a general vibe for the portraits, and then we can all replicate them. You smell bad. Yeah, no, it is strange, but I mean, I think it kind of fits this being kind of a spookier thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's the kind of thing we'll need to play around with. It's the kind of thing we need to play around with. You no longer feel smelly. You have great hygiene. Wow. I love that about you. You feel stressed out. You feel nervous. You feel serene. You have calmed down. Hey, creatures. There's sleep. Sleep. You feel exhausted. You feel sleepy. You feel energetic. You're no longer tired. Just tired. There we go. And just one left. For sanity. So yeah, this is the one that should slowly deplete, I think. I'm not sure yet how it's going to work exactly. Maybe it's best if it doesn't. Maybe it's best if it doesn't end the game early. I don't know. Happy birthday, creatures. Okay. So that, yeah, I'm going to move morale at the bottom. So that way that update is the last one. And it's the overall thing, so it works. And I think I'm going to adjust morale to be the average of all the others. And this is where it's going to be updated here. So I'm going to set morale. Morale is going to be set to the value of hunger. And then it's going to add the value of hygiene. And then it's going to add the value of calm. And then it's going to add the value of sanity. And the value of sleep. All right, and after it does all this, it's going to divide it by 5, and that's good. That should give us the average. So morale divided by 5. There you go. That should do it. So now morale is this average of all of these. Yeah. There we go. And maybe after all this, it should give a little update in the... Yeah, let's give a little update in the debug menu here. Console log survival stats. Hunger. Hygiene. Calm. Rest. Sanity. And then here, morale. Hunger is 690. So morale 688, hunger 690, hygiene. So it's up by 2 every time. So that's 688, 690, 692, 694, 698, 696. Sanity and then sleep, yeah. Okay, that should give me a little thing. Okay, and now let's have some quick tests here so I can see it happening. So I'm gonna have some test stuff here. You are going to have time move forward by 1 hour. So this is gonna do minutes past plus 1 hour. Time passing. Actually, no, let's make it how much time passes. Okay, and then we have some choices. 1 hour, 4 hours, 8 hours, 1 day. Enter number here. 12 hours, 1 day, and enter number. $240. $480. $960. And here, this needs to be set to a number you enter. Input number, 2 minutes past, 4 digits. There we go. Oh, wait, no. This. That would be 2040? No. There you go. I think that's a day. I don't know. I think that's a day. Any math whizzes here can make a simple addition. See, you need to be really good at math to be a programmer. Oh, right. Dream Balance should probably start at like 5 or 6 or something. Yeah. Hey, Rodox, how's it going? All right, but yeah, this is gonna have time pass. This is going to have... this guy just gonna let you recover. Recover hunger. Recover hygiene. Recover calm. Recover sleep. Recover sanity. Recover all. And common event. Time passing at the end. No, not on your apartment. This is actually not quite look outside work, although it's a little related. I'm running a community game jam right now. A community jam where everyone is working together to make a kind of Yume Nikki-like game inspired by Look Outside and vaguely related to Look Outside. All right, hunger goes up by 40, which is that to recover by 20. Now let's make it 20. Hygiene. All right. There we go. With this, I should be able to do just a basic test of those mechanics. You have calmed down. Oh, that's not right. Oh, I see. The reason is I made the start at 1. It needs to be at 2. Yeah, the normal is 2, not 1. There we go. So it should only respond. It should only tell me things at the start. Actually, sanity is going to be different. Should it be different? No, because that way, if it's not... No, sanity should also start halfway, because that way, if you find a lot of stuff, it's gonna put you up. Yeah. So all starts at 2 here. One hour. No longer hungry. Ah, it's still giving me that. No longer hungry. Yeah, there's definitely There's definitely an issue here with how these stats are being managed. Oh, I see. It should be if it's bigger than, not bigger or equal to. Yeah, shit, I need to change all of those. That's the problem. Okay. Then calm. Okay, that should fix it, I think. There you go. That should no longer have affect this. Let's bring this up here. We see here the stats and how they change whenever time passes. Now if I wait 8 hours, you're starving, you smell awful, you feel exhausted. And now morale is at 23, hygiene 5, hunger 5, hygiene 5, calm 50, rest 5, sanity 50. Now, if I recover a little hunger... Oh, that did not give me a message. That's weird. You're okay, right? Yeah, it only tells you you're no longer hungry if you go above 40. Right? Okay, that works. And then, say for hygiene, no longer feel smelly. Recover all. Recover all. You feel stuffed. You have great hygiene. You feel serene. You're no longer tired. You feel energetic. There we go. And now let's wait an entire day. You're starving, smell awful, feel exhausted, morale is very low. Oh, it does go into negatives. Okay, we should not let it go into negatives, I think. Maybe some of these should not go into negatives. Like hunger shouldn't go into negatives. But maybe sanity could. Yeah. Like if hunger goes below 0, it should just be set to 0. If hygiene goes to 0, it should just be set to 0. Yeah, all of these should not be able to go below 0, but sanity should. Yeah. Yeah, I think sanity is the only one that's going to be able to. Yeah, I think so. And so how sanity should go down exactly? Let's think about this. The idea should be that it happens about over like 15 days. Let's check about this here. Sanity stuff. Okay. So we have we have 60 areas. We have yeah, we have 24 powers. Yeah. We have 24 friends. We have 48 objects. Okay. So how much value do we put to each of these? How much should each of these add to sanity? Okay, so if everything is just worth 1 point, this would total to 156. So visiting each area, if visiting an area gives you 1 point, so whenever you see an area for the first time, then if getting 1 power gives you 1 point, if finding 1 friend gives you 1 point, and so on, that'll give you 156. What if we gave a bit more value to the powers and the friends? That would go out to 204. Yeah. How about how about something like this? Oh, that's 300 exactly? Ooh, that's pretty good. I like that. 1 point for area visited, 3 for powers, 3 for friends, 2 for objects. That's exactly 300. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that. So that would give you potentially 300 sanity points that you get over time. And what would be like sort of what would goes against this? What would lead to a bad ending? It could be just so okay, there's different ways. It could be that after 15 days, it just checks how many points you've collected. So you just need to find as much stuff as possible and say you have above like 200 points or something. Maybe that would maybe above 200 points would mean you win. So that if that was the case, then I would make sanity start at 0 and it just builds up over time. But I kind of like the idea of sanity going down over time and it affecting the game a bit if you're, It could happen after over 15 days. Like hours passing, maybe every hour. So hours passing. So hang on. So if you have 15 entire days, 15 like 24-hour days, this would actually add up to 360 total hours for 15 days. So that would end up with, so if you lose 1 point of sanity every hour, because that represents, your that would represent sort of like you slowly losing grip. Okay. So now we can adjust from here a little bit. Yeah, if we make this 4, 4, and 3, that would lead to 36. What if we make areas visited 2? That's 96. Okay. If we make friends 5, that's 120. That's okay. I like this. I like this. That would mean if you needed like at least 100, if you needed like at least 100 points. Nah, that's probably too tight. That's probably too tight. How about like 4, 6, and 5? Okay, that would be 216. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Or maybe there's also a starting sanity. Right? Okay, so the starting sanity is 50. All right? So you start at 50. And then every hour you lose 1 point of sanity. Okay? But then there's all of this you can accumulate by exploring the dreams. And this is the total you can lose. So that would give at a total, like the maximum you can end the game with if you found everything by day 15 would be 266. So that would give like 6, like if we make it that like best ending could be like 200 plus, and like second best 100. Yeah, above 200, above 100. Yeah, it would be 200 plus. 100 to 99 could be second best ending. Third best could be 1 to 99. And bad ending could be 0 or less. Yeah, something like that. How would that affect, like, yeah, what would be sort of like the collection you need for this? We're gonna need to tweak that a little bit when we see like how many dreams you actually end up, like how many runs of the game you actually end up doing by sleeping like this. Also, hey, there's a funny thing. What if the bad ending was literally just you never wake up? and you just keep playing forever. Would that be too unsatisfying? If you get 0 or less, you just get to play, you can just play, you can just keep going. I don't know. Would kind of make sense once you know what happens. But it feels like, but then what if you do find some stuff after that? Why can't you just claw yourself back up to, back up into the green? Or maybe you can. Maybe, okay, here's the thing. Maybe this doesn't really have to. Okay, maybe it could be a bit less strict than that. The idea could be that once you reach 15 days, the door opens and you can just walk out whenever you like. But that kind of like breaks the illusion of what's happening a bit. And when you walk out is when you basically, when you realize which ending you're getting. But you can just not walk out and you can actually just keep exploring. But at that point, it's kind of breaks the illusion of what's happening a bit. And so you can just, like, maybe you just always have the ability to regain your sanity after this. It's just that it stops going further down. Right? So it's kind of like the 15 days marks like the earliest you can get an ending in a sense.
Time to stretch.
Or maybe also the door opens early if you find enough. Or maybe bad ending is 0 or less and you go out. Maybe we do something like this here. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, Paladin Zaldin. That the best ending is specifically if the 15 days end and you're already at 200. So maybe like the only thing you can't get if you don't do it within the 15 days is the best ending. That could be almost like a, like a bit of a Easter egg ending, Like maybe it's a ridiculously good ending in a kind of like to a silly degree, right? It's more like the special ending, really. So like maybe 200 is kind of like best ending, and this is like special ending. 200 plus early. Like 200 plus before day 15. Right? And you can always get up to the best ending otherwise. This is just a bonus for like having essentially routed the game. Right? It's almost like the speedrun thing, but it's not actually a speedrun. It's more just about being very efficient with where you explore. It's more like just a routing game than an actual speed game, but of course you can speedrun it. I kind of like that, I think. So that way you're not actually forced to be like super quick. You just need to be quick if you want to, you just need to be quick if you want to get like the special ending. And otherwise, you can just take your time. So that way I do like that it does actually give you an incentive to figure it out as like more of for a second playthrough or something. But before that, yeah, And you can still see the bad ending. Like if you have, you know, once the 15 days is over, you can just walk out and see what happened. And then and then you can just load the game and just keep playing and look for more stuff, right? I think that works. I think that works. And you can even think of it as like you get that ending, but it's like, yeah. Yeah, I think that works. I think that's a good middle ground there. And I think probably second best and third best are probably not going to be that. Yeah, second best and third best are probably not going to be that different, right? Like it's probably just going to be like a little like between these two here, it's probably going to be like a small, you know, a small detail, you know? Like this one is, you know, like being bad ending, you know, is utterly mindless, you know? Maybe this one it's not even this one could even just be black, you know? Like there's nothing left in there. You can't even maybe it's just like a sound and it's just a description and it's not really clear what's happened. And maybe you need to be at least at this point to even have any awareness of what's happened, right? So this one might actually be the most horrible in a sense because this one you're not even present enough to understand what's happening. It's just confusion, which is pretty horrible. Kind of like that. I kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah, this one, no, barely any awareness. Black screen. Description. Sounds. This one would be like you see what happened but are powerless. Just stop. And this one could be like mostly powerless, but some fragments remain. I'll have to think a little bit about how exactly to like express that, how to show that, but and this one sanity mostly intact. And this one could be like a ridiculous one, you know? Like this one could be like just a really positive one. Not sure exactly what it would be. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeah. It's you know, it gives a little leeway, but still kind of rewards you for yeah. And you get to see like most of the endings in one. It's even in a sense almost better to have the bad ending because you're not really going to be able to like lower your sanity further, right? So if you actually start like if you get to the end and you have 200 plus, there's actually no way to see the others. So actually to see all of them, you kind of need to fail and then collect more stuff. If so, maybe it should actually be kind of difficult. Maybe we'll see. We'll see like we'll see how this is sort of how this balances out. But maybe if it's actually best to kind of to fail, you know, then maybe I can adjust the starting sanity a bit or something to make it that most people actually fail so that they have the so that people are more likely to actually be able to see all of them and in the same time also making getting the special ending more difficult. We'll need to figure out a good balance for it. Yeah, this seems good. Yeah, this seems pretty good. I might mess with these numbers a bit. I might mess with these numbers a little further. Hmm. I kind of like the friends giving more because the powers already give you so much. Like finding the powers is such a big boost to what you can do already, you know? So to me, it makes sense that the friends give you the most value because the powers literally like expand where you can go. And the objects, well, there's a lot more of them, so like in total, they actually give more points. I kind of like, yeah, I kind of like friends here giving the biggest boost. I think it makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. I think this makes sense. And also because of how it's built and because of the sheer number of points involved, um you should be able to like see because if we end up doing things that are like affected by the sanity or something, then that also is going to give you some opportunities to sort of let the sanity go down or let it go up. Because with this, like you can easily have like long times where you don't find anything new, and your sanity's gonna sink, right? Um, yeah, I'd imagine that. Yeah, like you're kind of yeah, you're mostly powerless, but yeah, some horrible things happen, but at least you can apologize. There you go. It's the exact same thing as third best, but there's just apologies the whole time. Oh yeah, this sounds like a plan. Well, yeah. So let's make sanity go down every hour. Sanity goes down by 1, but only if it is not day 15 yet, I think. So only if current day is less than 15. Because after that, sanity stops going down. Yeah. So sanity can only go down by 360 points. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, cool. Well, we figured out a few things. I didn't actually like really work on anything concrete there, but I set up like the variables and figured out the details on all of this. I could actually add. Oh, let's do a little stretch, folks. Yeah, let's do a stretch. So, got dream power. So, got dream power. That means you gain 5 sanity. Bam. Got a friend. It means you gain 6 sanity. And get an object. That means you get 4 sanity. And I'll need something to keep track of which areas have been visited. I could make an array for that, actually. I'll make an array for it. So on world change, begin dream. On world change here. So I'm going to make a new script. I think, and I'm gonna make a new variable here for the world state to keep track of which rooms have been visited. So dreams visited. That's 704. Okay. Var dreams visited is GVR 704. Now, if is array, I think. Array is array, I think. I always forget if that's how that works. Let me see. Is array. Okay, yes, it's array is array. So if this is not an array, this is gonna happen. So if not array is array. So if this is not an array, that means I didn't actually set it up yet. Then dream visited becomes an array. This set to that. And then dreams visit is pushed false. And then it is saved at the end here. Okay, there you go. And then, so this just makes sure that this works. And then if dreams visited, and then I need to check the current dream index, GVR, what's this? Dream index is variable 7. So 7. If dreams visited is not true, that means this is the first time you visit this dream. Then dreams visited becomes true. And then I override the dreams visited value here. Yeah. Then SVR. And then I need to also add to the sanity thing. So sanity is 696. Okay, so 696. I set variable 696 to its own value. 696 plus 2 points. So that grows this by 2. Increment sanity by 2. Record visit of dream world. There we go. And that should work. So now whenever you visit a dream world for the first time, it should immediately boost your sanity by 2. And also if you find a dream power, it boosts your sanity by 5. Find a friend, boosts it by 6. Get an object, boosts it by 4. Every time you sleep, I think the amount of time you'll be sleeping, I think it's probably always going to be 8 hours now. Now that it's actually less strict a bit. Before I was thinking of like the amount that you sleep is going to be based on how much you did. But I think it should always be 8 hours now. Since now, like, failing to get things on time is not going to just guarantee you a bad ending. It really just makes getting the best ending harder. So as long as the best ending is possible with, like, some planning, I think it's fine, you know? I like that. Yeah, I think in this case, it can absolutely be 8 hours every time you sleep. Because it means that if you're forced to escape a dream, if you're forced to pinch yourself to escape a dream, that's like a serious problem, right? Like you've actually lost 8 hours by doing that. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. That actually makes this a much more like spicy consequence. So it's actually a real blow for if you want to get the best ending. But for all the other endings, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's a fun dynamic, I think. That really opens it up. So every time you sleep and you wake up, 8 hours have passed. Let's actually make that happen right now. Let's make the 8 hours thing work right now. So I'm gonna go into the bedroom here. And I'll just... Yeah, 8 hours. 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours of sleep. Maybe if you're more tired, you're actually going to sleep more than 8 hours. I don't know. Nah. Nah, that doubles down on a... No need to double down on the penalty there. Here, when you wake up, it sets dream index to 0, waking up on, minutes past 480, and then run time passing. And also, this is where I should check the dream balance. The dream balance here should tell you whether or not calm should go up or calm should go down. Yeah. So, I think it's going to be based on, like, yeah, I think I'm going to take the value of calm. Since calm is already like 5 being like the average, not calm, but the dream balance, and like 9 is like the maximum and 0 is the minimum. I think what I'll do is whenever you wake up, before it runs this, I'm gonna subtract 5 from dream balance. Dream balance minus 5. And I'm just going to use dream balance itself as the modifier to your calm. So that way, if it was a 0, it's going to become minus 5. So that means for every hour you've been sleeping, your calm is going to go down by 5. And if it was above 5, then it's still going to be positive, so your calm is going to go up. That works. Why not? That works. The math, I think, should basically line up here. Yeah. So if you're dreaming, then it adds whichever value is at dream balance to your calm. There we go. And when you initiate going to sleep, that should set dream balance to something based on your morale. So when you begin dream, right here, this resets a bunch of variables here. So dream balance starts at 5. That's going to be the average, right? So if you woke up immediately, your calm would not change because nothing really happened. But then your mood at the time is going to affect this. So if not switches, variables. So if your morale is less than 20, if it's less than 10, then dream balance starts at 3. If it's less than 20, oh, it should be inclusive. And if it's less than 1, it should be even more extreme, I think. I think the smallest it can start at is going to be 2. Yeah, 2 is going to be like the smallest, the lowest dream balance can start at, I think, should be 2. Because then you can always make it worse by exploring, you know? And then above 98 is going to be this, then above 90, then above 80, there we go. So above 80 would be 6, above 90 would be 7, and almost at 100 or at 100 it would be 8. So there you go. So there's 2 points it can go up and 2 points it can go down no matter what. But most of the time, it's going to be around, it's going to be between all of this. And so most of the time, unless you have really, like, you're at the extremes, it should be 5. So 5 is going to be usually the dream balance at the start. And then it's going to go up or down depending on, like, things you encounter. And we're probably going to figure out the specific things that make it go up or down when I'm implementing everyone's worlds together in month 2. I think this is where we're going to be implementing the things that shift the dream balance. But you're free to make things that use the dream balance value before that. But I think I'll be figuring out the things that actually affect dream balance when I'm pulling all the worlds together. Because that's going to be difficult to balance otherwise. Okay, so there you go. So now there's a starting dream balance that's based on your general mood. And then it can change. So there's things you can do that boost it up. So there should always be essentially a way to boost up or lower your dream balance. I imagine lowering the dream balance is going to be much easier than raising it. Both of them are probably going to be like pretty much finite things you can do, but yeah. Oh, and I was thinking, how about, you know, the thing that lets you warp back? There's a power that lets you warp back. What if every time you use that power, it actually lowered dream balance? And if your dream balance is at 1 or at 0, you can't use it anymore. You just die. You just wake up when you use it. So that way the warp back, because the warp back can prevent you from, from waking up early, right? Because if you have a way to warp back, you don't need to pinch yourself and wake up, right? So it would be good if there was some sort of consequence for using it. And maybe that consequence should be that, yeah, the dream balance goes down by 1 every time you use it. So that would essentially make dream balance almost like life, right? Yeah, it almost becomes like your life points, like the number of times you can warp. I kind of like that. There could be other powers actually that lower dream balance. There should not be one that raises it unless you can only use it once or something. Or maybe like it raises it, but only if you use it at the right spot, probably. And you can only do it once per dream or once in total. So yeah, raising dream balance should be very limited. Should be like it should feel like a resource. Maybe there's a bunch of ways to lose it or quote unquote spend it. But there's very few ways to regain it. I like that. That's fun. Kind of brings a little bit of like a survival horror to the Yume Nikki experience, which feels appropriate, but it also very much still fits within the realm. I think. Yeah, I like that. I think that makes sense. All right, cool. Some progress. So yeah, I didn't actually really put things in the apartment. I just kind of set up a bunch of the bells and whistles around it. But hey, it's got to be done. That's gotta get done. But I think that's gonna be it for me tonight, folks. Yeah, the bells and whistles. I mean, it's not actually. It's the opposite of bells and whistles. That was actually the meat and potatoes, not the bells and whistles. You have the bells and whistles at the top. You have the meat and potatoes at the bottom. Okay. All right, folks. Before I go, as usual, I'll quickly link my Patreon, and then I'll look for someone to raid. Let's see. Who is there? Anyone playing Look Outside right now? Oh yeah, there's a few people playing Look Outside. Let's see. There's Ashen Gray. There's Magnanum. I think I've already raided Ashen Gray. Let's raid Magnanum.
Children's drawings. Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
Can
What
you,
do I do with this?
Can you examine them?
Oh yeah, let's raid them. This might be their first time playing, so no spoilers, folks. All right. Thank you all for watching, and take care.